Hello friends, welcome into the Cowboys Report. The 2019 NFL Draft in the books for the Dallas Cowboys. We'll recap their total picks, then we'll break down what it means. We'll get some grades in here as well. We'll get to my grading scale, which, we'll deal with that in a minute. Trysten Hill, round 2. Connor McGovern, round 3. Tony Pollard in round 4. Michael Jackson in round 5. Not that one, the cornerback out of Miami. Then in round 5, Joe Jackson, also from Miami. Donovan Wilson in round 6. Mike Weber in round 7. And Jalen Jelks in round 7 as well. Very late round selection there. Very important, though. Here is my draft grading scale. A, you had a great draft. B, you had a good draft. C equals an average draft. D equals bad. And F equals awful. There is nothing wrong with having a C draft. It means it wasn't the best, wasn't the worst, could have been better, could have been worse. And remember, as we go through these, I am not counting Amari Cooper. If it does, it's an A. But that's not the draft. You got that because you got already Amari Cooper. That was a great move overall for the Cowboys. I was too low on it, I'll admit that. I'm also not going to count UDFAs. We'll break those down in depth on Monday or Tuesday once they're all in. Cowboys already signed some good players. So with no first-round pick, I'm just kind of meh about this draft. It's not bad. It's not that good either, but it's not bad. It's a C draft. It's an average draft for me. I like Trysten Hill. I think he's going to be a good player. I'm not going to lie when I tell you I wanted a safety. I know a lot of you guys wanted safeties. It's okay to acknowledge that although Trysten Hill is not a bad pick by any means, and he's probably going to be a good player for you, he's not necessarily the ideal pick for the Cowboys. I had him higher than I think some other people out there did. The Cowboys clearly did. He'll be a good player for you, but kind of leans more on the average side of it. Now, Connor McGovern was fascinating to me because I don't think many saw it coming. The Cowboys didn't talk with him. Now, they needed offensive line depth for sure, but I thought it was more the tackle spot, not at guard. I don't think McGovern's draft pick here is going to be a factor in Travis Frederick. The Cowboys said it's not. Well, guess we'll take them at face value right now. I think what this means is after this coming season, La'el Collins is gone. He's going to be expensive, and then Connor Williams goes over to right tackle. So for those of you that have wanted La'el Collins to move to guard, I'm on board with it now. I want to maximize my 2 most recent top 100 picks, Connor McGovern and Connor Williams. If you want to maximize those guys long term, put Connor at right tackle right now. Now, I don't think McGovern's going to start for you in year 1, but there's no harm in letting him compete for left guard, right? There's no harm in that. Cowboys had a round 2 grade on him. I had him above where they took him at number 90 overall. I thought it was a solid selection. Didn't feel the biggest need, but it wasn't a bad pick either. It's a solid pick for the Cowboys. It's an average pick for Dallas. My biggest concern overall, and we've talked about this, you guys got mad at me when I mocked players that you didn't think were going to start. I don't know if the Cowboys have a week 1 starter. Trysten Hill was going to play a big role for you, going to be an impact rotation player. I don't know if he's played starter snaps, though. Now, speaking of impact, that's Tony Pollard. Now, I know maybe none of you haven't heard of him quite so far yet. Understandable. The highlights are fun, though, if you want to go watch those. He offers running back, wide receiver return ability. I thought he was a little bit of a reach at 128, but he does kind of knock out a couple of different roles for the Cowboys, and I like that. Again, I kind of gave this more of a C grade here. It's not bad. Wasn't ideal either. I kind of would have liked Isaiah Johnson, who went 1 pick later, but we'll get to cornerback in a little bit. So for Pollard, he's going to help you instantly on returns in case Tavon Austin ends up getting hurt again. I'm going to list him as the Cowboys' number 2 running back, but I like this pick overall in terms of like the positive side of it. You can play Tony Pollard and Zeke Elliott on the field at the same time. If you want to go split Tony Pollard out wide, he can. Now, there were too many drops on film. I think he is more running back than he is wide receiver because he did drop too many passes. But he's a fun, dynamic weapon. The Cowboys haven't had this type of guy since Lance Dunbar. This is almost a souped-up version of Dunbar. I had him in the round 5, round 6 range, so a little bit of a reach, but it's not a bad pick either. So grade this pick, A, B, C, D, or F. Again, he's not going to be a workhorse back. You're probably going to want to limit him max to 10 touches a game. but he does offer you a lot of impact ability and returns. I wanted another return man. The Cowboys did get that in Tony Pollard. Now, these next couple picks, I actually liked quite a bit. Again, you're operating at a deficit with no first-round pick. If you include Amari Cooper, again, it's an easy A. I like the Michael Jackson pick. I don't love that it took until round 5 to find your defensive back. I think you could have taken one earlier, but Jackson definitely fits the Chris Richard mold. Now, I've heard a little bit of buzz. Maybe some of you want to play him at safety. I think you keep him at corner because Byron Jones, Anthony Brown going to be free agents. Same with the Wouzier. I wouldn't hate the idea of moving Wouzier to safety. I don't think you do, but I think if Michael Jackson can be more like the 2017 guy, kind of got yourself a steal. And I'll tell you what, I gave this pick overall an A, but again, we're in round 5, so it's not quite as impactful. But Chris Richard knows how to coach up defensive backs. He could make Michael Jackson into a pretty damn good number 2 cornerback, so a good pick here by the Dallas Cowboys. Joe Jackson, because the Cowboys like the Jacksons, getting close to forming a Jackson 5, I guess. I kind of feel like overall, Rod Marinelli kind of got his way this year. So, Cowboys got all kinds of defensive line depth now, and Joe Jackson, good length, versatile player. I think you can maybe be an Adrian Claiborne type guy for you. So we're doing something different this time around for you. You got a lot of positional flex guys. You got a lot of depth overall at defensive end. Here's how I kind of think the defensive end depth chart looks. DeMarcus Lawrence, Robert Quinn, your top 2. Crawford's going to play inside and outside. If Gregory's back, well, he's easily your number 4, if not your number 3. Taco Charlton, Dorrance Armstrong, Joe Jackson. You might have a competition for that. If Gregory's here, you got a lot of bodies there, kind of like we saw last year. Coney Ely ended up not making the roster. Carriota can play DT too. He's got to have to earn his roster spot as a round 5 pick. Late in round 5, remember guys, not every one of these players is going to make the roster. So just keep that in mind. I like the pick a lot. I think Rod Miller can get the most out of Joe Jackson. Some inside, outside flex, mostly outside though. I like the pick here by the Cowboys for Joe Jackson. Hopefully he ends up making the roster. Next up, Donovan Wilson. Cowboys finally get a safety late round 6. Now, of all the guys, Wilson, because he's a late 6th round pick, he might not make the roster. But he might be able to beat out Kevon Frazier. I think this pick right here is a Frazier versus Wilson roster battle. I think George Iloka makes it. I think Jeff Heath makes it. I think, of course, Xavier Woods. I think he's going to have a breakout year. I think he only carry 4. Now, we'll list Jeff Heath as the backup free safety. I do think Donovan's going to be best in the strong safety role there. So I'll put him behind Kevon Frazier for now. I think your top 3 is pretty clear. George Iloka, Xavier Woods, Jeff Heath. Battle for that 4th spot. Who's going to do the best on special teams? Now, Wilson really flashed in 2015, kind of bounced back this year, but in between injuries wasn't as effective. I want your honest opinions now. Are you upset the Cowboys didn't take a safety until the 6th round? Now, let's not revise history. Most of us wanted Juan Thornhill. I wanted him. I wish the Cowboys take him. I would have loved this draft class if they had. I had Juan Thornhill as a top 32 player. Now, Chauncey Gardner-Johnson bombed the interview process. I get that. Let me know. Are you upset Dallas didn't go safety until the 6th round? I'll make note. Go sign Trey Boston. Go do that right now. I don't know why the Cowboys don't like him. Go sign him right now. I'll be pretty pumped on that one. But the answer for me is yes. I am a little bit disappointed that the Cowboys didn't take a safety round. So again, let me know in the comment section what you guys think here about this selection here, about the Cowboys not going safety at all until the 6th round there. Again, I am disappointed by it. It's not the end-all be-all. Again, I'm not saying this draft class is bad. I'm not saying that's the case. But I'm saying it's a little bit more on the average side, especially with no first-round selection. Some nice day 3 picks, but I'd be lying if I wasn't a little bit disappointed with what the Cowboys did early. Now, one pick I did like is Mike Weber, who the Cowboys brought in for a pre-draft visit. Downhill runner. This is more of your true Rod Smith replacement. He's not going to be as dynamic as Tony Pollard is going to be, but I think you solidified the running back spot. You got yourself the depth you wanted. I actually had Mike Weber graded higher than Tony Pollard. Different types of players, but I like Weber. I think he's going to be a good backup in the NFL. So he's not going to play as much in terms of like if Zeke needs a breather on first down, Weber probably comes in, but on third downs, passing downs, Pollard plays a bigger role there. I like this pick a lot. It was an A pick for me here by the Cowboys. Another Ohio State running back. Cowboys seems to like those guys. Split time with J.K. Dobbins. I thought it was a good pick by the Cowboys. Frankly, I thought one of the better values they had in this year's draft. And then a speculative flyer in round 7, super late round 7. We'll see if Jalen Jelks can make the roster. It's a deep defensive line group right now. And he played out of position at Oregon. There's some up and downs in his testing overall. The production wasn't great. I am fine with the pick. I had a round 5 grade on Jalen Jelks. Overall, maybe he makes the roster. Maybe he's a practice squad guy. Maybe he surprises. Maybe you get crazy. I don't think Dallas would do it. But maybe you try him a little bit at the Sam linebacker spot. He's kind of awkwardly built for it, but I wouldn't hate it necessarily. So I'm very curious to see how things go here. So grade the Cowboys draft. Now, early poll results here, both on my Twitter, @WhatGoingDowney, and the Cowboys Report YouTube channel. On my Twitter, 55% said B, 26% said C, 11% said A, 8% said D. I didn't even give you the option for an F because there's no point to it. On YouTube, meanwhile, 52% said B, 27% said C. Now, again, I give it a 6% said F, by the way. Okay. I'm not that pessimistic, but I know I think this has been a divisive draft class for the Dallas Cowboys. I know a lot of people that are pissed. I've heard it on Twitter. I've seen people tweet at me. I get why you're upset. But also, I don't think it was a disaster. It certainly was not as bad as the Giants. Their draft was hot garbage, you know. I gave it a C. I think it is an average draft. I am not grading on a curve. It's not the route I would have gone. It's not the route many of you would have gone. The Cowboys have proven they do know how to draft. I think you got some good players in this year's class. I think you got some guys that'll help you. I don't think you made your team as good as you could have. And that's why it's a C for me. It's not bad. Can I make that clear? Hill's going to be a good player for the Cowboys. Rod Mailata could make him a great player for the Cowboys. We could look back in 3 years and go, damn, Cowboys got a steal. I also would have preferred trying to get Juan Thornhill and Trysten Hill. You might have been able to do it if you'd taken Thornhill first and then tried to move up for Trysten Hill. So it's an average draft class for me. Could have been worse, but it could have been better as well. Let me know in the comment section. I'm sure many of you will be mad I didn't give it an A or a B. Hey Cowboys fans, thanks for watching the Cowboys Report. If you haven't already, click right here to subscribe to our channel for all the best Cowboys coverage on the internet. That's news, rumors, highlights, mailbags, film studies, and a whole lot more. And I'm making your lives a little bit easier as well with the next Cowboys Report video right here.